Hello everyone. I figured it's time for another update on the Eagle Cap 1165 camper that we bought a few years ago. It's been a little over a year since my last video, so I just wanted to let you know how things are going and some of the upgrades that I've put in over the last year since the last video. Overall, camper has been incredible. Has not had any major issues, knock on wood. Haven't had to take it back to a dealer or get any warranty work done. It's Adventure, when they built these Eagle Caps, they really did build them as top of the line. They're great quality camper, and one of the reasons I purchased them, because they were, at least in my eyes, they were probably the best quality camper available. Unfortunately, Adventure has decided to stop making the Eagle Caps. They stopped a year and a half ago or so. So this is a 2022 model year, and it is the last year that they made the Eagle Caps. So I'm kind of fortunate that I was able to buy it at the time I bought it. So it's just good timing. And the reasons that they're not building them anymore are essentially they are too complex and too expensive to build at a profitable price point, given the state of the economy and the supply chain, inflation. To build one today probably cost you $150,000, I don't know. But so the company Adventure that builds them has decided to focus on their mid-level range and entry-level range, or smaller campers, which are much simpler to build, and they can turn out in higher quantities. So they run the math, and given the facilities that they have, they decided that they can make more money building the mid-size and smaller campers. Maybe someday the Eagle Caps will come back, but we'll see. Anyway, we took the Eagle Cap 1165 on quite a few trips this year. The biggest one was out to Tennessee. We drove down the Blue Ridge Highway. Took 2 or 3 weeks doing that, going out to Tennessee, to Nashville, coming back up, stopped at all great sites, campground, different campground every night. It's exactly why I bought the truck camper, so we could easily just set up camp quickly and be really mobile. And one thing that we really discovered, I'm just going to zoom out here a little. One thing that we really discovered that we enjoyed was being able to take our camper into all of the local small towns and eat at the local restaurants. Something you couldn't do with a bigger tow behind, or we park right on the street in front of local cafes and small towns, and that's what we really like to do, rather than taking the interstate and stopping at fast food places or Cracker Barrels, places like that. Find the little holes in the walls, the places that have the best food in every local town, get to meet the local people. To me, having a camper, that's half of the fun of having a camper, is the travel and the meeting of new people. It's not just about the camping. You can see we've added a lot of new stickers from our travels this year. Next year we'll be adding even more stickers. So we took a trip up to New Hampshire this year as well. Hershey Park. Yeah, we were all over this summer. Had a ball with the camper. So I highly recommend getting a truck camper if you are on the fence. The Ford F450 that we bought along about the same time the camper, she's been rock solid. She hasn't had to go back for the dealer. I've just been normal. I do the maintenance myself. Normal diesel maintenance, oil filter changes, fuel filters, that sort of thing. The truck has been flawless. Let's talk about some of the upgrades that I did this year. So the biggest upgrade I did this year was a solar upgrade. Let's start in the basement. I'll just show you the changes that I made down here. You can kind of get a good idea of what the kind of final basement looks like after I've done a lot of modifications. Looks quite a bit different from a stock Eagle Cap camper, 1165 camper. I think I've talked about the electrical system in the past, but the big changes this year are the MPPT solar controller. That's a 150-100. They handle the large number of solar panels that I'm eventually going to have on the roof. We've got the two 270 amp hour lithium batteries in parallel back there for a total of 540 amp hours of battery capacity. I've got room to upgrade to put 2 more in there if I get the inkling to do it next year, and also if I have the funds to do it, let's say. But not sure if I'll need it, so we're going to see how we do with the solar install and those batteries, and it's probably sufficient, even if we're running AC. Boondocking with the AC, that's kind of one of our goals. I think I talked about moving the water pump away from the stock location over here so I can easily keep an eye on it and maintain it. And oh, I need to fix that. I just winterized the camper and the antifreeze is leaking on my nice wood boards here. They're just pine boards, not a big deal. I gotta fix that. But yeah, that's what the basement looks like. I'm kind of happy. It's a good compromise of capability, observation, and storage. By observation, I mean I can keep my eye on everything that's down here. I didn't tuck a lot of things away down in the crevices back there. First of all, because I hate crawling into that basement deep down in there. But also, I just like to be able to quickly glance and see if there's anything wrong, anything leaking, anything wrong. Just keeping my eyes on everything is just the way I like to run it. I still have enough storage here for what we do. So, yeah, that works out well. Let me take a walk up to the roof and I'll show you the solar panels. I'm going to climb the ladder here. Nice and carefully. Okay, I don't know if I've shown the roof before in these videos, but you can see here some of the upgrades I did. So we've got 2 200-watt panels on this side now installed, and I've got 3 120-watt panels over there. That was the most optimal arrangement of solar panels I found for that space over there. If I use the 200-watt panel, I can only get 1 in there, but I can get 3 of those 120-watt panels in there. So currently I have 2 of those 120-watt panels in series. They're 24-volt panels, so I've got 48 volts coming from those 2 panels, and these 2 panels are in series, also 48 volts from both. So I got 2 in series, and then the 2 sets in parallel going to that combiner box over there that I installed, and that routes the 48 volts down through the cabin down to that MPPT I showed you in the basement. I still have the stock 2 100-watt panels on the cab over, but I have another 2 of these 200-watters that are going to go up on the cab over next year, and 1 more of those 120s that's going to go right there in the middle. So I'm going to have a total of 1,280 watts of solar next spring. I'm going to do that install next spring. Right now I've got 640, and it works pretty well. I have a lot of shade here, so it's hard to test, but I'm definitely getting power. I'm getting close to 100 watts, depends. I have a lot of shade here, and it's winter, so not a lot of sun, but everything is working as expected, so I guess I kind of knew what I was doing when I installed them. And I installed them on these using this rail system here because I wanted to easily be able to remove the panels for maintenance. And the traditional way of mounting solar panels, like the stock panels there, let me zoom in and I'll show you. Those brackets screw directly into the roof, and you really can't remove those panels without removing all of the sealant and getting under there and making a mess. That's got to be a big job just to get under those panels and clean under there or replace them. I'm really happy with this kind of mini rail system that I installed here. My first time sealing the roof too, so I kind of made a few mistakes. I stepped in that spot right there, but I made sure everything was sealed up really well. I'm going to cover the camper this winter, so I'm not too worried about it. It's been like this for a couple of months, and we've had a lot of rain and no leaks so far. So I guess I did a decent job on the ceiling as well. So that's the solar install. I'm going to go back down this ladder now very carefully. I do have one more upgrade I want to show you. That is a DC to DC charger. And when I get down here, I'll explain what that is all about. I have that mounted up here in the front bay. Let's zoom out. Yeah. There's your Orion DC to DC charger. It's a 30 amp. So what that does is it's a 12 volt DC to DC charger. It's an isolated charger, and it connects to my truck's charging system, and there are two wires going out here to the side and two wires going to the back to the bus bar. So this allows me to charge the batteries while driving down the road. Most truck campers do very minimal charging through the standard trailer connector, but especially with the capacity batteries I have in here now, they wouldn't charge nearly as much as a dedicated charging system like this I have here. And I'll just show you on the outside where that comes out. And I have a cable, comes up here to an Anderson connector. And then I have a matching cable on the side of the truck. I won't show that to you, but it comes through the bed. And it connects up to the main batteries. There's a fuse under the hood. So when the truck is running and it's connected to the camper through this connector, I get a good 30 amps of DC-DC charging when I'm driving down the road. Lets me run the refrigerator on AC because I have the inverter. I don't need to run propane for the fridge when traveling down the road, which is really nice. And there's even spare capacity to charge up the batteries as well as run the fridge. So it's perfect charging situation for me. Now I've got the solar on the roof. We should have no power issues next year when we take our trips. And next year, one of the big trips we're thinking about is going to Canada. So I want to do it for a month. I'm not sure if the wife is going to want to stay away for a month. But I think we can do it. I think we have the capacity, we have the comfort now with the rig because we've taken it on long road trips. The wife is very happy sleeping inside of it. That was one of my worries with the camper, sleeping in the cab over. But she really enjoys it. And even after 2 weeks of every night in the camper, she was happy to do even more. She wasn't tired of it. So I'm really excited that we're going to be taking a lot of trips in the future in this rig. Yes, those are the only two major upgrades I did this year, the charging system related upgrades, I think. But the camper's just about where I want it. So I don't think I need to do any other significant upgrades. Hopefully it's going to give us years and years of enjoyment. It's the perfect type of RVing that we do. We can take the camper off of the truck. We actually did that at a campground this year. Last year I was hesitant to do it, but this year we actually took the camper off at the campground and we had the truck that we could drive around and visit all the local sites and all without having to take the camper for us. That's when we went to New Hampshire for 3 nights. We left the camper on scene, came back at night, slept there at night, and everything worked well. That's the beauty of truck camping. We don't need to tow another vehicle behind us. And like I said before, we like to go into the local towns and park in the local parking lots and park right on the street in many cases and enjoy our travels because we love the traveling aspect of it. All right, I've talked too much here. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Send me your info. I'm going to be putting, she's all winterized. I'm going to be putting the cover on after I wrap up this video here. and she'll be bedded down for the winter, and we'll see you next year. Bye.